Hi, Tom here, and welcome to this week's Circle Line Art School Drawing Challenge. In this drawing, I'll show you one way to draw trees using one-point perspective. When using one-point perspective, we're only using one vanishing point. That's why it's called one-point perspective. And this vanishing point is best placed in the middle of the drawing, on the horizon line, and the horizon line represents the height of the eye of the viewer. For this drawing, I'm using a 4B pencil. Any pencil which gives a dark tonal range would be excellent to use. And so the first step in this drawing is to draw a horizontal line across the lower half of your page. And then in the middle of this horizon line, we can draw a dot for the vanishing point in the center. From this center vanishing point, we can draw a line going to the right, and then another line going to the left, and these will be our guidelines for the line of trees that we can draw. The first tree we could start is to draw a tree on the left, and the base of the tree starts on the diagonal line that goes to the vanishing point, our guideline. Once you have the tree in place, we could draw the base of the tree, and then we need some foliage for the top of the tree. To do this, I would suggest just using a broken line of a variety of different values, meaning pressing down at different pressures onto the paper so that it's a tonal line, a broken tonal line. So that's a sort of a symbol for a tree, and we could break into it by making a few indications of some details of clumps of foliage and perhaps some of the branches that we could see through the foliage of leaves. So with a tree, it's quite good to keep it quite loose, particularly the top part of a tree. And then for the trunk, we don't need the horizon line going through the trunk anymore, so we can just erase that. Next, from the top of the tree, we can draw a guideline to our vanishing point, and then another guideline to the point of the tree where it opens up into branches. We can use the original guideline at the base to draw the tree trunk, and that can go up all the way to the guideline of where the tree opens up into branches and leaves. And we can continue that for more trees going towards the horizon and going away from us, the viewer. As you draw these trees, they'll also get narrower because they're further away. They'll also look closer together, also because they're further away. Now, we started with the tree in the foreground at the front of the drawing because the other trees are all going to overlap the tree that's in front of them. So if we start with the tree in the foreground, then the next tree, which will go up to our guideline, roughly go up to our guideline, going to the vanishing point, will be behind the first tree. So we're using one-point perspective for these trees, but we're also showing distance by drawing shapes which are overlapping each other. So things as they go towards the vanishing point on the horizon look like they're smaller and also look like they're closer together. Next, we could add some more of the indications of details that we did on the first tree within this first row of trees that we've just drawn. So once you think that your trees are sort of ready for the next step, just use an eraser to get rid of the horizon line that goes through them, and then using the horizon line as a guide, we can draw a dot on the right going to the guideline on the right that we drew originally, and then another dot for where the tree trunk turns into branches. And then we can make a third mark at the top of the tree to show how high the tree would be on the right, because although perspective makes things look smaller as they recede from us, if they go to the left or to the right, they don't really change size. But it would be useful to draw two more guidelines from the middle dot and from the top mark to our vanishing point in the center, so that we have the base of the tree, the middle of the tree, and the top of the tree marked out for us. Once you have the 3 guidelines in place and can start the tree on the right at the same height as the tree on the left, because we've read the measurements across, as it were, then we just need to repeat the same process by drawing a tree in the foreground on the right, and this will really match up with the tree more or less on the left. Once you have this tree in place, then we can consider drawing the row of tree trunks, again using the guideline that's receding to the vanishing point, but also reading the lines off from the trees on the left to the trees on the right by visualizing horizontal lines going across the page from the base of each tree, and then they'll be lined up left and right together. So remember, these tree trunks will be getting closer together and narrower as they go towards our single vanishing point on the horizon line. Once you've drawn the tree trunks, then we can just repeat the sense of the foliage of the top of the tree, remembering that the tree in the foreground, the tree at the front, was the first drawing, and then we can draw each tree one by one because they're overlapping the tree that's in front of them. The guidelines are just guidelines. Trees can be all sorts of different shapes and sizes, but we're imagining that this row of trees are all trees that would be of the same height if they weren't seen in perspective. So once we've done all of that, we have a line of trees either side of our direction of view, which is looking straight ahead. When you're ready, you could add again some indications of branches within the tree and some clumps of foliage. So if you're using a soft pencil, you'll be able to change the tonal range of the lines that you're using to create light and dark areas with the shapes that you make. So that is one way to draw an avenue of trees using 1-point perspective. If you'd like to take your drawing to the next level, I think the best way is not to start with complex drawings, but to go back to the beginning and start from scratch. The reason for this is, if you start from scratch, then you can build upon really strong foundations and develop your drawings into really complex and imaginative and meaningful images. What you really need to focus on, in my view, is how to master the basics of drawing. When you focus on the basics, you'll get the key foundational skills which will enable you to grow your drawing with confidence. So if you're serious about improving your drawing, you need to go back to the beginning and start from scratch. I'm excited to be able to offer you my online drawing course that I've built. The course is called How to Draw from Scratch, and I built this course because it covers all of the most requested topics that you have asked for. This is the #1 course that will help you develop your drawing skills to the next level. The course is clear and concise, and it is totally step by step with no steps missing. There is also a 30-day 100% guarantee on your course because I am confident that this course will work for you. Now, if this opportunity sounds right for you, go to circlelineartschool.com to buy my course. I hope you will. I'm looking forward to help you developing your drawing skills to the next level.